In the coastal city of Sihanoukville, Cambodia, a truly dark reality is playing out. Behind the walls of heavily fortified compounds, people are being held against their will, trapped in a form of modern slavery run by powerful criminal organizations. Today, we're taking you inside this hidden crisis.
And this isn't some distant threat. It's the brutal reality for those who get ensnared. This chilling quote from a man who was just rescued, it cuts right to the heart of the danger they face. It's a world of violence and coercion, a place where escape feels completely impossible.
But recently, there was a small glimmer of hope. 2 Korean nationals were rescued from one of these criminal compounds, which are known locally as Wenchis. And their story, it gives us a rare and absolutely vital window into this dark underworld.
So you have to wonder, how does someone end up in a situation like this? To really understand, we're going to follow the personal journey of one of the men who was rescued. He's a man in his 30s, and his ambitions took a terrifying turn. You see, his story started with a dream. Just this past June, he came to Cambodia's capital, Phnom Penh, to launch an internet business. But things went wrong. His plans fell through, his money ran out, and he was left vulnerable. And that's when a friend suggested a job in Sihanoukville. It must have seemed like a lifeline, but in reality, it was a trap. The promise was so simple, a legitimate job to get back on his feet. The reality was a complete nightmare. He was taken to one of these Wenchi compounds and ordered to work for a Chinese-run voice phishing scam, a massive criminal enterprise that preys on innocent people.
When he refused to participate, the consequences were immediate, and they were brutal. He was moved to another compound, he was electrocuted, and he was threatened with murder. He was forced to cooperate, biding his time, just looking for any possible chance to alert the police.
Now, his experience brings up a terrifyingly simple question. Why can't people just leave? Well, the answer is in the compounds themselves. These are not ordinary buildings. They're basically modern-day fortresses, and they're built for one purpose: to keep people in.
People who've seen these places describe just incredible security measures. We're talking about 3-meter-high walls, often lined with broken glass. There's only a single entry and exit point, and it's heavily guarded. Security personnel are monitoring every single movement. It is an environment of constant, heavy surveillance, all designed to make escape next to impossible.
So while this rescue is a victory, what it really does is reveal a much larger, escalating crisis. You have to understand, these are not just isolated incidents. This is a systematic problem, and the number of victims is growing.
Aid workers on the ground estimate that in Sihanoukville alone, more than 200 people are being held captive. And that number, that reflects just one city.
A missionary named Oh Chang-soo is on the front lines of this crisis. He says they get rescue requests almost every single week. And he's seen a really disturbing trend. The calls for help from young Koreans have surged over the last 2 to 3 years. This problem is getting worse.
But maybe the biggest challenge in tackling this crisis is a simple, terrifying fact. Many of the victims are completely silenced. They are literally unable to signal for help.
Think about this. Upon arrival, the very first thing the captors do is take away the victim's cell phone. That one act cuts them off from family, from friends, from anyone who could possibly help. They're made invisible and voiceless, with no line to the outside world. And that leads us to the final, haunting question. If rescue requests are coming in every week from the very few who manage to get a message out, what is the true number of victims? How many more people are trapped right now, suffering in silence, with absolutely no way to call for help?